for centering us so beautifully. God of love and a great expectation. Move in my life, in my heart, in my spirit, so that the words that come out of my mouth, based on my own inner meditation, will be acceptable to you and to those who are gathered in this place, via Zoom or live stream. We need your presence with us today. James Baldwin said, "The longer I live, the more deeply I learn that love, whether we call it friendship or family or romance, is the work of mirroring and magnifying each other's light. Gentle work, steadfast work, life-saving work in those moments, and life and shame and sorrow occlude our own light from our view. But there is still a clear-eyed, loving person to beam it back. In our best moments, we are that person for another. I failed. Not miserably, but nonetheless I failed. I submitted to those who are knowing this a 10-day pilgrimage in place as outlined by Madeline Severtson. Madeline was a student of mine at Pacific School of Religion, and that was her final project for a special reading course. I was very excited because I hadn't been on a pilgrimage away from home, and I knew that I was not going on a pilgrimage away from home anytime soon. So when she talked about in place, this is something you could do at home or in the area. She said we could walk out in nature or in the city and just experience what pilgrimage is supposed to be about in terms of cleansing and living our own soul, renewing our commitments and so on. And she even said, you can do it in your backyard. Just walk around your backyard. Well, I really like that idea. And I kept putting it off. I said, well, tomorrow. I visit tomorrow. Oh, it rained today. It's too cold today. I'll get to it soon. And I kept delaying. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And there's a place where I hadn't even walked, which is where my clip is. I take my clips and screen it. It's right on the border of Baldwin and San Leandro. East Oakland and San Leandro. And so after I dropped my clothes off, I said, okay. So I started walking. And the mall there is not the most luxurious. I was going to say to myself, what am I going to find around this mall? So I started walking because I said, I have to do this. I started walking, and there was this bush, this tree that was so beautiful, orange and oh, it was outstanding. And that was before I left the mall. And so I took out my little camera, I started trying to take a picture of it. But I was disappointed because always when I tried to take a picture of it, there was something ugly in the background. These buildings, and I don't know, this woman, beautiful. So, but anyway, I took a picture. And started walking the highways on the side. Found out in the neighborhood about a mile was astounded by the beauty of what some of the people had done in terms of landscaping. Some with succulents, some with lemon trees, orange trees. It was just really beautiful. And I said, I am glad I have come here and begun this work. But then I noticed that this beautiful house with the lemon trees, then in front, there were trash cans. And it kept happening. I would go somewhere else and there was a truck or SUV, some kind of vehicle. I'm going, this is really kind of messing with this beautiful nature that I'm supposed to be experiencing and I love and so on. Because I realized that's life. You have the beauty alongside the, I would say, necessarily, but the functioning. Things that help us to function, to go where we need to go, to do what we do in order to experience the beauty of the Lord. And so, again, I kept missing days, and I finally said, backyard. We're going to do backyard today. So I did that, and it was really wonderful because I noticed, first of all, the little jasmine vine that had been fence. Which is not belong to us, the jasmine, but it had, it was no longer there. But the neighbors, it was growing at the neighbor's place. There was a blossom of petals, and petals from the tree behind a yard that fell. And that was sort of nice to see those petals. I learned that the yard is uneven as I walked. Part of that is that when we first moved there, years ago, there was a little pond in the backyard, which we destroyed there because the mosquitoes gathered and so on and so on. So that was part of what I was feeling with the unevenness. And there were weeds. But it was so refreshing to me to take some time away from schedule and contemplate life, the beauty of life, and the challenges of life. What happened was I felt a sense of consecration that the yard plants so on were bringing to me. There were little yellow flowers there that we had not planted, but it was nice to see. There was something very beautiful about experiencing the beauty of something you did not yourself plant. It had nothing to do with the growth of this thing. So perhaps I did not utterly fail, because I certainly received a greater appreciation for the generosity of life that unabashedly restored my soul. Many years ago, while visiting, my mother, looking upon the ocean, was awestruck, and for a moment speechless. Then she proclaimed, "Who would not serve a God like this? And the ocean be God. The ocean God commanded a response, causing her to delight and wonder. Not only for the grandeur of the ocean, but what it did to her soul, causing her to, one of my favorite words, behold. Behold. Behold the majesty of creation, to massage her relationship to the wonder, the height, the depth, the surrounding presence that was transcendent. To love the beauty of creation, reawakening her joy in the moment and in life. An associate of mine with the National Council of Elders translates the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, translates it as the earth is the Lord. I was certainly swept up in the arresting beauty of what I encountered on my 2 walks. Thank you, Vera, for your wonderful meditation. Where I have in this message, Dr. Howard Thurman concluded this discussion of the hounds of hell that you talked about: fear, deception, hatred. The hounds of hell that can erode and corrode the soul with the affirmation that love was the way forward. Love establishes the necessity and possibility of common life with all of life for himself. And he began his chapter, his 11th chapter, quoting Matthew 22. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with your whole soul, and with your whole mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he says, once the neighbor is defined, then one's moral obligation is clear. Now, these words that came from Jesus, that loving the Lord your God with your whole heart, with all your heart, I don't think those words were not words about arousal. I never really like to be aroused, except in certain occasions. He is not talking about being awestruck. He is talking about being awestruck in relationship to God. He's talking about the soul being raised and expanded. He is not talking about a handshake with God or a slap on God's back, but love that causes a person to fall in love. Not holding back our love for God, for self, for neighbor. And if we substitute the word life for God, then we are talking about not holding back anything in our relationship, but surrendering ourselves to life, coming alive in life, going beyond being titillated by life to giving of oneself to life. Could nature be neighbor? Yes. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stressed the importance of agape love. That love seeks to relate to the oppressor as a human being in such a way that the oppressor is a candidate for redemption. Agape love is love for each other, for justice and implementing justice, undergirded the movement to which he gave leadership. What is not normally discussed in the civil rights movement is eros. And I think eros is very present in the civil rights movement. And without it, there would be no movement. What I mean by that is that, and you look at eros as desire, desire for connection, desire for inspiration beyond oneself. It is rooted in the quest for fulfillment, to become whole. That's eros, to become whole. We experience the sunset, and that's an erotic experience. It's pulling us out and connecting us in love and romance to this sunset, or to the night, as Philip talked about so beautifully in his word of the night. If you think about the prayers from the depths, the songs of community, of solidarity and inspiration, dedication, and total faith in God's unchanging commitment to take care of the people, removing shackles through every day or all the way in their quest for restoration, communal and personal salvation, deliverance, freedom. All things were to be right experiences. And And I say that because they could take the common person who was there, who came for a meeting of commitment, and somehow left changed, inspired, committed, no longer afraid. And the civil rights movement required that. People who were no longer afraid, who became inspired. And what Thurman calls the creative encounter, not only is the individual changed, but so is God. God is changed in our encounters. You remember the story of Jacob wrestling with the angels? The encounter was so intense that a new person was born, Israel, although living to his weakness. You think about the phoenix rising, that is burned. It's in the ashes before it arises. It is only after this encounter that Jacob had with the angel, becoming something other than his traumatized, other than a traumatized victim of his father, that he was able to be the person he needed to be for the time. Israel's life was no longer occluded by the trauma that he experienced being the son of Isaac and the grandson of Abraham. We already talked again about trauma. This child, this kid had been traumatized by his father Isaac, who had been traumatized by Abraham. Wouldn't you, as a child, Isaac, be traumatized as your father had put you on a barbecue pit and wrapped you around and said, okay, we're going to sacrifice you to God? What do you think the child's going to feel? How do you think he's going to relate to his dad, maybe? Charcoal all around him, lighter fluid, and then a fire. Oh, but here's the ground in the bush. So you can go, Isaac. Go out and play. Now he passed it on to his son, Jacob. To Isaac, and Isaac passed it to Jacob. Isaac was so confused that he could tell one son from the other, and gave the blessing to the wrong person. Fooled by somebody put his skin. Oh, the mama put his skin on Joseph. You mean the daddy can't tell this false skin from the skin of Esau? Traumatized. And if you look, I hate to say this in a way, but it's true. If you look in the Bible, you will see that a lot of traumatized people there. And we need to understand that when we pick up the scriptures and read from some of these places. Traumatized. The creative encounter, I say God changed also. The creative encounter summons us to be agents, to carry forth, to symbolize, to create what God needs, what life needs on earth. Resilience, concern, commitment, courage, and creativity. That's what I mean God's changed, because God now has another agent. You, me, the other partner in the creative encounter. God has another partner. Life has another partner to do what needs to be done in our world. You remember James William Johnson when God stepped out on earth and stepped on his face and looked around and said, I'm lonely. So we deal with the loneliness of God through our love and encounter with God. For there is a responsibility to act upon what has been revealed in the created encounter. The revelation asks to be implemented in resistance, fortitude, resilience, and audacity. When the living spirit presided at those civil rights meetings, even though there were human facilitators, something was loose that could not be contained in those rooms or cautious living. And we'll hear more about this in Pentecost. That was Pentecost experience. When Jesus comes, something happens. And people are inspired and are willing to do things they never thought that they could do before. And a new community came into being. Foolishness outstripped fear. The connection of those whose freedom became so alive that there developed a romance with the idea of freedom, a desire and romantic fear, and experience as desiring and as romantic as the next guy. What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give? Or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. But, and if life belongs only to the strong, what will you lend on a golden ear? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more than the heaven. Something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love. Beyond confidence. Heaven, I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist. Until you find the love you missed, you're nothing. When you walk, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love any day. Some of you were present at the Commonwealth Club last year, in February, and our beloved Augusta Newport explained steps undertaken in Berkeley to become the first city to guarantee domestic partners' rights for the LGBTQIA+ community. This was after Harvey Milk's assassination in Oakland, and the gay community tried to get Dianne Feinstein to pass such laws, and she would not. She went to the Catholic Church, and they said, no, no way. And then people came, Harry Britt and others came to Gus and said, what about Berkeley? And so Gus was all for it, but again, many people in the Catholic Church knew he was going to have to deal with this, so he went to Father Bill. Oh God. Father Bill was amazing. Father Bill was all the demonstration. He was just one of those prophets. And so he went to Gus went to Father Bill for his support. And Father Bill said, in terms of gay, LGBTQI plus community, it's about love, isn't it? He had no alternative but to endorse the measure. Fellowship Church, I sincerely believe, is about love. Therefore, I am obligated to endorse this mirroring and magnifying of each other's life. When we're weary, feeling small, when tears are in our eyes, drying us tears. When filmmaker who put together the film Howard Thumb Backs Against the Wall, at a meeting celebrating or commemorating the 40th year of Dr. Thumb's death, raised the question question with me when I described Fellowship Church as being open to all kinds of people, former this and former that, former this and communists and atheists and so on. He said, well, how do you deal with such a congregation coming from all walks of life, all faiths of life, and no faith? How do you deal? What holds the church together? And I said,